Have you ever noticed how the room gets quieter when you speak up, or how your phone rings less and less these days? You used to be the first person everyone turned to for advice, for stories, for strength. Now, it feels like you're slowly fading into the background, like the world is moving on without you. It's not just your imagination. Many people over 75 experience this strange kind of invisibility where conversations move around you, plans are made without you, and your opinions seem to float past unheard. But here's the truth. No one tells you this isn't the way it has to be, and, more importantly, it's not your fault. Getting older comes with wisdom, stories, and life lessons that no book or internet article can teach. But somewhere along the line, society started treating age like a problem instead of a gift. And as a result, too many incredible people just like you start feeling overlooked. That feeling of being ignored or left out can lead to something much deeper: loneliness, frustration, or even believing that you're no longer important. But nothing could be further from the truth. Today, we're going to have a real conversation about why people start tuning out seniors after 75, and more importantly, how you can change that. This isn't about shouting louder or demanding attention. It's about reconnecting, rebuilding confidence, and reminding the world and yourself that your voice still matters. And trust me, it does. In this video, we're going to walk through 5 powerful ways to bring connection, joy, and purpose back into your daily life. These aren't complicated or unrealistic. They're simple, heart-centered tips based on real experiences, and they can make a huge difference starting today. So grab a cup of tea or coffee, settle in, and let's talk about how to make these years vibrant, connected, and truly fulfilling, because you deserve that and more. Tip number 1, speak to be heard, not just listened to. Let's be honest, people aren't always great at listening these days. With smartphones buzzing, attention spans shrinking, and conversations often feeling rushed, even young folks struggle to keep up. But when you're over 75, it can feel like the world has hit the mute button on you. But here's a little secret. The way you speak can reignite the connection. That doesn't mean raising your voice or demanding attention. It means adjusting how you communicate so your words naturally draw people in, not push them away. Start by framing your words in a way that sparks curiosity. People tend to tune out when they feel like they already know where the conversation is going. That's why phrases like "back in my day" often cause younger people to mentally check out before you've even finished your sentence. But watch what happens when you start with something unexpected. You know, I faced the exact same problem when I was your age. Suddenly, you've got their attention. Why? Because instead of sounding like a history lesson, you've made it personal, something they can relate to. Another trick? Use vivid, emotional language. Instead of saying, "We had to work hard back then," say, "I remember coming home with hands so sore I could barely hold a spoon, but I'd do it all over again for what I learned." That detail sticks. It paints a picture. And people remember pictures far more than plain facts. But words alone aren't enough. Body language matters. Make eye contact. It signals confidence and invites engagement. Lean in slightly when talking. It makes the listener feel like what you're about to say is important. Pause for effect. A well-placed silence makes people hang on your words. And here's one of the biggest game changers. Ask engaging questions. Instead of telling a story straight through, invite their thoughts along the way. Have you ever felt that way? What would you have done? Can you believe how much things have changed? When you ask questions, you turn a monologue into a dialogue. And conversations, real, meaningful ones, are what keep you from feeling invisible. Finally, carry yourself with quiet confidence. You've lived through history. You've seen trends come and go. You hold wisdom that no internet search can replace. So the next time you feel like your words are being ignored, take a breath, hold your space, and speak from the heart. Because when you do, people don't just listen, they hear you. Tip number 2, update, don't disappear, stay present in their world. Now here's another hard truth. People often drift away, not out of malice, but out of disconnection. Technology moves fast, trends change overnight. And before you know it, conversations are filled with words that sound like another language, TikTok dances, digital wallets, or something called Be Real. And no, that's not a self-help slogan, it's an app. But here's the trick. You don't have to understand everything. You just have to show curiosity. Imagine this. A grandchild is glued to their phone, laughing at something. Instead of dismissing it as kids these days, try saying, "What's so funny? Show me." It's a small question, but it does something powerful. It invites connection. You don't need to love their music, follow their shows, or understand every meme. But by asking, by listening, by showing interest in what excites them, you remind them that you're not stuck in the past. You're still here, still engaged, still part of the conversation. Even learning just a little, like how to send a voice note, join a group video call, or react to a social media post can open the door to more connection than you realize. And when younger people see you making the effort, they start making the effort back. It's not about changing who you are. It's about staying visible in their world, not as an outsider, but as someone who's still present, still interested, and still very much a part of their lives. So instead of quietly stepping back, try stepping forward even just a little, because the moment you show that you're still listening, people start listening to you too. Tip number 3, stop waiting for invitations. Start creating moments. One of the most common things seniors say is, "I don't want to bother anyone," and that's understandable. No one wants to feel like they're intruding. But let me ask you this, when did your presence become a burden? Too many people over 75 start waiting for calls, waiting for visits, waiting to be invited. And when those invitations don't come, it's easy to assume people don't care anymore. But here's the truth. Most people aren't forgetting you. They're just caught up in their own routines. Life moves fast, distractions pile up, and sometimes people don't realize how much you still want to be included. So, instead of waiting, take the lead. Start a Sunday brunch tradition, even if it's just with one person. Invite someone over for coffee, or offer to teach your grandkids how to make that old family recipe. And if family isn't nearby, create moments with your community. Start a weekly card game or coffee meetup. Organize a walking group for neighbors. Join a local class painting, music, even a book club. The key is to take action instead of waiting for someone else to. And here's what happens when you do. People respond. At first, some might be busy, but the more you reach out, the more they remember that you're here. You remind them that time spent with you is valuable. And something even more powerful happens. You start feeling more alive. Because when you take the lead, it shifts your mindset. You're not just waiting for life to happen. You're actively shaping it. So don't wait for the invitation that may never come. Be the one who invites. Because the more moments you create, the more connections you'll keep. Tip number 4, reclaim your identity. You're more than just old. Let's get real for a second. After a certain age, society starts lumping people into one big gray-haired category. You're no longer Susan the artist or Frank the adventurer. You're just grandma. You're the old man down the street. And while there's nothing wrong with being a grandparent or a neighbor, that's not all you are. You've lived a full, complex, and interesting life. You've had dreams, passions, and experiences that shaped who you are. That person hasn't disappeared. But if you don't show the world who you still are, people might not see it. So, here's the challenge. Reintroduce yourself. Ask yourself, what did I love before life got busy? What made me excited to wake up in the morning? What's something I always wanted to try but never did? Maybe you used to sketch for hours, but stopped because of work and responsibilities. Maybe you played the piano, but haven't touched a key in years. Or maybe you always wanted to write a book, learn photography, or take up woodworking, but thought, it's too late. Here's the truth, it's never too late. Now is the perfect time to pick up an old passion or start something new. Love to write? Start a journal or share your life stories with family. Used to love music? Take a few lessons or simply enjoy playing again. Always wanted to paint? Get a set of brushes and start experimenting. Enjoy working with your hands? Try woodworking, knitting, or pottery. And if you're not sure where to start, join a group or take a class. Senior centers, community centers, and even online platforms offer endless opportunities to connect with others who share your interests. The moment you start living your identity again, something changes. People stop seeing you as just old and start seeing you as interesting, vibrant, and full of life. Not that you ever stopped being interesting, but sometimes you just need to remind them. And more importantly, remind yourself. Tip number 5, build bridges, not walls. Connection needs consistency. It's easy to feel distant from people when they don't reach out as often as they used to. And the natural response? If they don't make the effort, why should I? But here's the problem with that thinking. Silence creates more silence. If you stop reaching out, they assume you're busy, or maybe even that you don't want to be bothered. Over time, that small gap turns into a canyon, and before you know it, months, maybe even years have passed without a real conversation. But relationships don't die overnight. They fade from neglect, not always from a lack of love. Think of relationships like a fire. If you don't tend to it, the flames don't go out instantly, but they do start to dim. The good news? Even a small spark can bring it back to life. So instead of waiting for others to fix the distance, take the first step. Send a quick text. It doesn't have to be long. Even a simple, "Thinking of you today. Hope you're doing well," can reopen a door that's been closed for too long. Make short, friendly calls. You don't need an excuse to call someone. Just say, "I had a funny memory today and thought of you." It takes seconds, but it makes a difference. Show up in small ways. Comment on a social media post. Send a handwritten note. Forward an interesting article. Any reminder that you're still here, still engaged, and still thinking about them. And here's the most important part. Do it without expecting anything in return. Not every text will get a reply. Not every call will be answered. But the key to real connection isn't instant results, it's consistency. Because when people see that you continue to care, even when life gets busy, they start to realize how valuable your presence is. You don't need to force deep conversations or demand more attention. Just keep the door open. Keep the fire going, even if it's just a small flicker. Because a few warm, meaningful connections are always better than a lifetime of loneliness behind self-built walls. So, if you've been feeling invisible, unheard, or left behind, it's okay to feel that way. You're not alone. So many people experience it, but now you know the truth. You are still needed, still wise, and still worthy of being seen. You can speak in ways that invite connection. You can stay present, even in a fast-changing world. You can create meaningful moments, not just wait for them. You can rediscover who you really are, beyond the labels. And you can build strong bridges, one conversation, one small gesture at a time. Because aging isn't about fading into the background. It's about shining in a new light, one that reflects your strength, your kindness, and your beautiful, lifelong journey. If this video spoke to you, I'd love it if you gave it a thumbs up. It helps more seniors find content that uplifts and inspires. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos just like this, filled with advice, encouragement, and stories that matter. Share this with a friend or loved one who might need a little reminder that they still matter too. Thanks for spending this time with me today. You're not invisible. You're incredible. Until next time, take care of yourself and keep showing up.